What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the XPS 15, 7590 to be exact. That is what I have right here in front of me. Now, if you follow my channel, you would know that I said I was going to get either a brand new laptop or a brand new camera. Well, I was lucky enough to get both. And I'm really thankful that I was able to get both. So yes, recently I picked up the Canon EOS R. I'm part of that family now. And now after 2 weeks of waiting, which was an awesome surprise. This thing wasn't supposed to be here for another week, but I got a really great email this past weekend saying that my XPS 15 has been shipped. So let's jump right into it. This is the Dell XPS 15 7590. I've had it, for about a week now. I've had it on since Friday. So all I've done is set it up, messed around with it. I've rendered a few videos just to test it, things like that. So yeah, I've had it, and I have to say I love it. I absolutely love this computer. And there's a reason why I decided to go with the Dell XPS 15 7590 over a MacBook Pro. Basically, that was the only two things that was competing for my money, and I decided to go with the Dell XPS 15. So let's jump right into the specs. What I have right here is the OLED display, i9 processor, 32 gigabytes of RAM, and I elected to get the 1 terabyte of storage. Now, the reason for me getting the 1 terabyte of storage is simply I don't use internal storage like ever. I typically just leave that storage for apps and the whole processor and everything this computer needs to basically use the internal storage for. I don't use it for anything else. I have a 27-inch iMac sitting over there, 5K display. I elected to get only 1 terabyte of storage on that, but I primarily work solely on a lacy drive. Everything that I do, from photos to videos to document storage, is all on my lacy drive. So same situation here. I elected to go with a Samsung T5, 1 terabyte SSD storage, just because, again, I love to do everything on external storage devices because I can easily move around and edit on different types of computers. Being that I have two now, I can edit on both. I can save my projects into my SSD and just go right over to my iMac and open up Premiere Pro or Lightroom, and boom, there you go. Opened up my save file and I can continue editing on a larger screen. That's why I decided to just buy external instead of electing to get internal storage. So some of the things I love about this computer, there's two 3.0 USB jacks on either side. There's one USB Type-C, which is honestly a little unfortunate. I would have been okay with the two USB 3.0 jacks and maybe one extra USB Type-C. It only has one, which is, again, a little unfortunate, but it's not a really big deal. Now, the Dell XPS 15 is in rare territory when it comes to still having a freaking SD slot, a full-size SD slot at that. So that's part of the reason I pushed over to going towards Dell after many years of using MacBooks and things like that. I really love the fact that I don't have to have an extra dongle or adapter to use an SD card. So that was like a real plus for me. Now, speaking of ports and USB Type 3s, I wanted to talk about this very quickly. Now, we know since these things are getting slimmer and slimmer, we're losing ports. So we don't have Ethernet ports anymore, which, okay, we can understand that. Wi-Fi is getting faster, but it's still not as fast as gigabit internet. So I have AT&T gigabit internet. I roughly get about 800, sometimes about 850 megabytes per second upload-download speeds. Well, I won't ever see that with Wi-Fi here. I just don't. I've tested it. I'm typically getting around 300 to, on a good day, 400 megabits per second. It even goes for my iMac or any other thing I've ever tested the internet speed. That's my average for this router here. But I picked up this adapter. This is a USB 3.0 jack to Ethernet port. This is very important because I wanted to just mention while I was talking about USB ports, it does not work on the right hand side, guys. I don't know if it's just my computer, but I've initially plugged this into the right-hand side where the SD slot is, it recognized it, but it would not allow the internet to go through. But luckily, I switched it after 15 minutes of frustration, thinking I was doing something wrong. I switched it to the left-hand side, and it worked smoothly. As long as you have your Wi-Fi connected, it will download all the drivers for you. You don't have to go searching the internet for drivers. It completely did everything for me, and boom, I was up and running, getting exactly 800 to 850 megabytes per second on upload and download. So I was skeptical on getting this, but it legitimately works. I just want to tell you that if you have a laptop like mine, it only works on the left-hand side for some unknown reason. But they also do have USB Type-C adapters, so if you wanted to buy that for your Dell XPS 15, you definitely could. But I elected not to do that, being I don't want to lose the only USB Type-C port that I have on the computer. I typically plug that into the USB Type-C with my solid state drive because I like to keep my USBs open. So yes, I elected to go with the OLED display. And to be honest, I just felt like if I needed a touchscreen, I would use an iPad. I'm not, big on touchscreens. It's wonderful, and I know people that own Dell XPS 15s with touchscreens like previous models probably would stick to that. But me, I've never owned an OLED display. I have the 5K display, and I have a 4K high definition TV, smart TV, but never an OLED display. So that's why I elected to go with the OLED display. I am a content creator, and video editing and things like that is important. Editing photos are important. Editing those thumbnails, which I suck at, by the way. Editing those things and getting true to color is very important, because I could tell sometimes when I edit color correct on my iMac, it's off a little bit, especially the whites. I can tell they're a little off. But that's kind of why I went with the OLED display, is to make sure that I can get a little close to true tones. And honestly, I can say that I've fallen in love with this Dell XPS 15. It is a lot faster than my iMac. Obviously it will be, because this is a brand new technology. And my iMac over there is like 2 years old. So it should be faster. And yeah, the whole point of a laptop for me though is to be able to be a little bit more efficient outside of the house and edit on this thing, and eventually maybe just go ahead and get a 20-inch display, a 27, 25-inch display plugged directly into this, because this does have an HDMI port directly into it, a full-size HDMI port, I might add. And that's really awesome. Not too many freaking computers will have a full-size HDMI port. So guys, this is honestly, I say it a lot, I feel like this is the ultimate content creator machine. I can render a 1080p video in about 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes. I've actually tested that. I've rendered a 10-minute 1080p video in less than 10 minutes. And the only thing that held it back was the fact that I was on Wi-Fi, and it was freaking uploading to YouTube for 30 minutes. So again, if you're a content creator and you have really fast internet, make sure you get this adapter to take advantage of the high speeds of your internet, because obviously you lose speed during Wi-Fi or using Wi-Fi. But guys, yes, stay tuned. I think in my next video, what I want to do is show you. I'll take a 10-minute 1080p clip, and I will show you how fast this thing renders. Yes, it's loud. It will get loud when it's rendering that video, but it just churns through it. And again, I don't know if I mentioned this. Now, when I'm doing my 1080p videos or 4K videos, I don't have heavy graphics on them. So that's something that I'm going to get into eventually once I learn After Effects and things like that. But right now, man, you can't beat this Dell XPS 15. If you're looking for a brand new laptop and you're considering buying a MacBook Pro 15-inch, hey, make sure you take a look at this and strongly consider it, because I think price versus performance, hands down, this is probably the closest you're gonna get to getting the best bang for your buck. Okay guys, until the next video, comment, subscribe. See you in the next video.